those times I have to remind myself that I don't want to cut my hair short again and that I don't want to cut a fringe. But I kind of do. Oh, Inside Out, the film that taught us all about our emotions. Sadness? Far too relatable. I straight up cried when Bing Bong died. I would die for Riley. 10 out of 10, solid film. And there's a second one coming out. And if I thought sadness was relatable, boy, when they showed that teaser for Anxiety, that's me miming hitting the nail on the head. That little guy just feels so accurate that I cannot wait to watch the second film for him alone. This kind of got me thinking, if I were an emotion inside somebody's little brain, what would I be? What would I look like? We've established sadness and anxiety is taken. The first thing I did was Google, what are emotions? It's a far deeper question than I intended it to be. Then I was a little bit more specific and Googled a list of emotions. And MedicineNet had a list of 27 emotions and feelings, 2 of which stood out to me so intensely that I knew it was going to be one of those. The first contender, which very quickly got ruled out, was awkwardness, and I was like, well, that resonates with me. But Dan made the very good point that if I was designing an outfit for awkwardness, it would just be wearing a giant turtleneck and then shriveling up inside of it. Naturally, it wasn't very much of a project. My little inside out sitting in someone's brain character is interest. I do have a little design concept that I came up with, and the general idea being comfy, weird outfit that just expresses all of the many interests. I have decided upon making a really cool, rad pair of dungarees. 1, dungarees are awesome. 2, they're comfortable as heck. 3, are so practical and just move aroundable that you can do anything in them. By making a simple pair of dungarees as the base, this then gives me the time and freedom to cover them in loads of unique weirdness to represent all of the different interests you can have. And you can put so many pockets on the dungarees. I'm aiming for 7. We will see if we get there. How much sugar have I had today? As an Inside Out character, I knew I needed to pick a colour scheme. I have a lot of pink leftover fabric from when I did 80s Wonder, and I figured I could use that, and I bought a cheap pink wig online, and to go the full hog, I have also ordered some pink face paint, which will be arriving at the end of this week. I almost forgot. I also figured that I can leave space on this thing so that in future projects, whenever I want to try out a new technique, I can just try it out on my big interest hodgepodge dungarees, which I think is also really cool. So that was also the other idea. Why have I had so much sugar? Using leftover fabric for the bulk of this project, I have a fairly decent sized chunk. All of the dungaree patterns I've looked at definitely say you need considerably more fabric than that, but I am going to be drafting my own anyway, combined with, this is my infallible? That's a word, right? Infallible. Maybe I'm not using it right. This is my logic. I could completely wrap myself in it with a big overhang. So if it can fit all the way around me, surely I can make a pair of dungarees out of it. It's the kind of smarts that I bring to my projects. I have decided to use the trouser pattern from this, adjust it slightly, make a shape for the top half to turn it all into dungarees. We are going to go down the stairs and lay this out on the floor and start drawing and cutting out some pieces and pray to the almighty crafting gods that I have enough fabric. Once I laid out the trouser pattern, I realised pretty quickly there was no way I'd have enough fabric for it, so I sat there and stared at it for 15 minutes. I accept defeat, I need to draft it. I followed this blog guide by the Stitch Sisters. It was really helpful as a starting point, but I had to make a lot of adjustments as I think some of their instructions only work for large sizes. The pieces are cut out. I am starting by joining together the 2 front pieces. I have already decided I am gonna verge away from the guide that I was using for drafting your own dungarees, because I want to do the straps differently to how they've done it, and obviously I'm also adding in extra pockets because I love pockets. The other thing is I am mildly concerned that these will be somewhat slimmer than I would have ideally liked. And by that I mean I was worried I straight up wouldn't be able to get them on, but I chose to ignore the problem for a little longer and assemble the front and back panels. And for comfort reasons, I roll hemmed all of the inside seams so they wouldn't feel itchy, because there is nothing worse than a raw trouser seam. I just achieved a sewing milestone. Broke and bent my first machine needle. Look at the complete carnage that I've caused. Is it weird that I'm proud of that? We're just about wrapping up on day one. I have hit so many problems already. Issue number one, my thread is running incredibly low, and I don't think I want to be able to replace it with another one that will match. So I'm trying to get all of the visible stitching done before that runs out, and then all of the inside stitching I can do in something else. Front and back panels have been assembled. They look like this. They're all neat and hemmed off, and they basically just need joining to each other at the legs. I was putting off doing this because the more I was working on them, the more I was like, you know what, I'm not even sure these are actually going to fit. I don't think they are. So not ideal, but I already actually do have a plan for that. Very sophisticatedly, just add in a strip of fabric along each leg of the straps, and that will be the first thing that I do tomorrow, and then that will pretty much be the overalls in one piece, to then start working on all of the pockets that I'm going to add to it in what will be forever dubbed as Pocket Day. Is there a National Pocket Day? Wouldn't it be fantastic if it lined up? I looked it up, and there is no such thing as an International Day of Pockets, or a National Day of Pockets, or any kind of variety of day of pockets. Although, there is a poem in your pocket day, so that's something. And in honour of Poem in Your Pocket Day, April 18th in case you were curious, I have decided to put a poem onto one of the pockets that I'm putting on my dungarees. I've worked it out, and I am going to fit 9 pockets onto my dungarees, which makes me giddy to think about all those pockets. I can't entirely remember what I said last time I filmed, but I'm fairly certain I was just flat out wrong. I realised that it would be very stupid to assemble my dungarees before doing the painting stage, because it would just bleed through to the other side and be an absolute nightmare. We are going to be spending the entire day today painting on the base of all of the different designs that I want to do. I came up with some rough doodles of the kind of thing I want to do, and we're going to quickly sketch these onto the dungarees and onto all the pockets in pencil first, and then we're going to paint over the top of that. That's going to take 24 hours to dry, and then I need to heat cure it as well with the iron. God, that sounded really American, didn't it? Iron, 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 iron. And then we'll be assembling absolutely last. Before painting on any of the designs, I pressed my pockets into the right shapes. And then when I wanted to start filming the design portion of the video, I hit some technical difficulties. My studio light decided to throw a disco. I don't know why it's doing this, but it is, so I can't film. Kind of felt like I should go get the salt. Luckily, changing the bulb fixed the problem. Rough pocket placements. I've already drawn the space design and the floral design on roughly. In this area here, next to all of the florally, vine, flowery kind of pattern, I wanted to put some kind of quote, specifically so that I could have like a calligraphy style thing, because I'm really into calligraphy. Initially I was like, I should pick something fitting for calligraphy, like fantasy or historical kind of thing. So I was thinking, okay, what's my favourite book? And the answer to that is not fantasy or historical, it's I, Robot. So I've decided to put the 3 laws of robotics in calligraphy in this area. So I'm just going to trace that out first. Okay, scratch that. This feels like the pencil isn't showing up enough and it's taking a lot of work to put on for it not to be the actual thing, and just draw it directly on with pen without any pencil lines to trace. And we'll just hope I don't make any drastic mistakes. I did pencil on the rest of the designs though, because they were much easier to quickly sketch out. Fun fact, I don't have any kind of paint palette. So I've got an egg tray filled with fabric medium, ready to mix in the different colours as I need them. Is there anything more satisfying than a new tray of paints? I'm going to start with my space leg, so blue. Now fair warning, I have zero painting abilities. Like, absolutely zero. But we're gonna have fun. My first design was a galaxy spiral, as I've always had a deep love of space. As a teenager, the most used app on my phone was actually the NASA app, and I used to check it daily. Expanding on this theme, I also attempted to paint in the Perseus constellation, as it's my favourite one because of the Perseid meteor shower. My second represented interest is anything nature related, anything outdoors or landscapes. I genuinely long to live somewhere that I could be walking distance from a forest, a lake, countryside, cliffs, and coast. If such a place exists, that's where I want to live. I might not be good at art or painting, but I genuinely love it. Whether it's in a museum or a gallery or someone's Instagram page, I have such a love for a wide range of art, so I wanted to represent that interest by including a paintbrush-sized pocket with the very first painting I remember learning about at school on it. This design was very bare bones, but I feel like pumpkins and bats gets the point across. I wanted to put a snake on the back because I've always loved reptiles, and I've always known that if I ever had a pet, it would be a snake or a lizard. And then I thought I could actually two-bird it with this one and paint out a version of the Reputation snake. I actually had to look up rainbows for this because I can never remember the order of the colours. I originally intended this to be surrounded by clouds and sky, but on impulse I did this pouring, melting design instead, and I actually really like it. I just want to thank Doctor Who for introducing me to this poem. This line has literally never left my brain since that episode. Whovians know the one. There's no profound reason behind this one, I just wanted to. After the not so good outcome of the poem pocket, I decided I can't paint calligraphy. So I did the Free Laws of Robotics, but I did them in a more book print font instead. This section is now a representation of my love of sci-fi instead of my love of calligraphy, which I'm okay with. We have so much to do today. I've already spent this morning heat pressing all of the paint designs. So now these are all permanently in place. It took absolutely ages. It took so long that my ironing board had accumulated loads of condensation underneath it that was just constantly dripping onto the floor, and I had to put a towel down. But it was worth it because it looks really cool. Like I said, absolutely loads to do today. I'm really hoping to be able to spend the afternoon doing the actual results shoot. So I want to try and just storm through this morning and actually get it all finished. I was concerned about this not actually fitting me. I am going to add in some panels to make it larger, and I've already cut those out ready to add onto the sides. Sew in the inside pockets at the same time as adding those side panels in. After that, I will start placing all of my surface pockets And then after that, we'll be joining all of the leg seams together, which will bring it all into one piece. And I've just remembered I also actually need to do the strap part of the dungarees because I haven't done those yet either. Oh my god, that's so much to do. Do not have time to faff about, so I'm going to knuckle down and we're going to montage this. Just gotta pick up all my pockets now. I pinned the inside pockets in place and quickly stitched them down. I then joined the front panel to the 2 extension side panels, stitching around the pockets to finish those off too. Next, I machined on my secret front pocket and covered the stitching lines with the exterior front pocket, which is slightly larger. I then stitched on all of the other pockets, including the 2 that go on the back panel as well. Once all of this was done, I finally joined the front and back panels together at the inseam, which I then also roll hem so it'd be comfortable to wear. Finally, I stitched the remaining side seams and added the 2 straps to the back, finishing off the dungarees, which brings us to the results. I feel like if I wasn't painted pink right now, you'd see how red hot I am underneath all of this. What a roller coaster of a project. To be fair, project itself, I really enjoyed. It was really fun. Absolutely love how it turned out. Wasn't quite what I was planning it to be. I definitely planned to do a lot more, well, frankly, work on it. I planned to do, you know, embroidery and appliques and stuff. But yeah, in the end, I just leaned into the painting because it was just, to be honest, very therapeutic. I've had a rough month and I feel a lot better now. The eagle-eyed among you would have noticed that I've used safety pins to attach them. I would like to say it was a style choice, but it was 100% because I didn't want to sew buttonholes. But you know what? It is a style choice and I do like it. Can we also just take a moment for how much of an exact fit this actually is, despite the fact I added in these 3-inch panels on both sides to make it baggy? How did I get my initial measurements this wrong? Oh, seriously, I'm so hot. Thank you so much for watching along. This has been an extremely weird project, but I had great fun once I got back into the rhythm of it all. Next project. I mentioned previously that I was going to do another live action Disney princess. Technically, I've got all of the materials for the Disney princess dress. I've decided to make a crown to go with it as well, which I'm so excited about doing. But I don't yet have the materials for the crown. Well, tiara. Technically, it's going to be a tiara. Ideally, would like to make it first, so that way when I make the dress, I can do the shoot with the crown as well. If they come, I would really love it to be my next video would be the Disney princess that I'm making. But if they don't arrive promptly, I will have to start a different project instead, and then it will be my next after that, because it will definitely come by then. I'm so excited. It's like, I want them to arrive because that's what I want to work on next. Anyway, that is upcoming. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to drop me a comment and subscribe if you want to see some more of my projects, including Disney princesses. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Happy Pride Month! That was louder than I was expecting. I did that thing again where I forgot what I was saying. Genuinely. I keep getting distracted by how pink I am. It's hard to take myself seriously.